speaking with just a little flight information coming up on the left.
I thank the Grand Architect for allowing me to travel facing the east so I don't get wrecked. And mathematics was here since the beginning of creation. Hex makes it possible for you to be ostentatious. It's back to the basics. Bitcoin mining uses the ASICs machines, leaving a carbon footprint worse than the contact tracing. Like COVID relations, they can't erase this. It's etched in my cerebellum, the spiritual matrix causing inflation. And the truth will pop the bubble and create the real deflation. Yeah, make no mistaking. There's no more waiting in line for virtual face-to-faces. I can't wait to tell my employer, fuck your paychecks. I'm more dangerous than safe sex. I live in the truth while you live in a false pretense. You making your employer rich, so make it make sense. And sometimes my head's dense, cause I wish I could help my people, but I'm surrounded by fake friends. And life is messy, I accept it and make amends. There's no excuses to the motto of success. I follow the trends, cause the trends is your best friend. And for the trends, I'll do everything from here to the end. What's going on, everybody? It's the Crypto Wonder, your host of the Crypto Wonder podcast. Let's get right into it. Hope you're doing well. So, the sacrifice period for PulseX is, as far as the first few days to get in for 10,000 points per dollar, is coming to a close relatively soon, like this weekend. At the time of this recording, we'll pretty much be the ending of that period for anyone to get 10,000 points per dollar. Then after that, the bonding curve begins, where it'll be 5% more expensive to sack. Yeah, right? You're getting 5% more costs if you want to interact with the phase, with the whole system. It'll cost you each day 5%. I believe until February 25th. Don't quote me on that. I'm just going by memory. So, I don't know what else to say as far as people are going to do what they do. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't give financial advice. You do what you want to do with your own money. That's your right to do that. But I tell you, we're dealing with something here that it's practically unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. You have a person who's really trying to help people become wealthy. And for his mission is just to basically, I would say, overtake the entire industry in a glorious way, right? In a glorious way. I was reading through some of my comments recently, and first of all, I want to shout out all of my new subscribers to my channel, as well as old. I want to shout you guys out. It's well appreciated. I'm glad that you're able to find some type of anything in the content that I create, because this is what I do this for. I do this because I enjoy it. Simple and plain. I'm not clout chasing. That's just not in my spirit to do things that are kind of like outside of who I am, and to waste time in a sense. I enjoy what I do, but I appreciate you, and I value your input and overall support. Seriously, my channel, I don't have a big channel. And it's for me, it's not about size, it's about quality, right? So I try to match that energy with what I create. And again, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I've been talking like hardcore about Hex. Look, I'm not an OG, Hex OG. I've been in crypto. This is my 6th year in crypto. I don't think I'm an OG even in crypto, because every day is an opportunity for me to learn something new. I learned something new about PulseX today, and I learned something new from the community, because the community sort of like thrives off one another. Like, we learn together, and it's crazy what PulseX is going to do. What PulseChain is going to do, what Hex has done and will continue to do. These things don't come often. Like, in my natural life, I can't recall anything in my life that presented itself at this point in this way, in such a fashion where everyone and anyone can participate to experience massive gains. You understand? Like, this is something where it's not really secret. You're not dealing with something after the fact where you hear, oh, listen, IPO, a company went public in the stock market, for example, and everyone who had a chance, who had the inside scoop to get into X, Y, and Z company, made a killing during the IPO because its price skyrocketed. So this is not that. This isn't that. Imagine, in 2017, during the ICO craze, a bunch of ICOs came out with launch timers, where people were feverishly waking up in different hours of the day during the world, because the times would be so crazy. Like, you would have ICOs coming out between midnight and like 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? And people would just like be glued to their computers to try to enter ICO because of a launch timer. And if you don't enter by a certain time, you're locked out. This has evolved to something else, where this sacrifice thing is where you have several days to really chill, to really relax and think like clearly as best as you can, and adequately plan to either enter or not enter, when to enter, how much to enter with, or whatever. The choice is yours, but there's no pressure. There's absolutely no pressure. And the crazy thing about it too, the risky thing about, for a lot of people who don't believe that this is like, who may think this is too good to be true. I mean, that's how many people felt before Hex launched, and when it launched, and still believe it's what it is. It's like what it's not, because they can't believe so much has been made. They can't believe it, even though it's all documented on the blockchain, even though the charts capture all the movements that Hex has made within the last 2+ years. And it's I know for some people it's hurtful, right? They're pissed off, angry, upset that they missed out, that they talked themselves out of it, or that they're just simply just jealous and will never allow their ego to be put aside to jump in the product. And like I've said before, they'll be left behind. Those individuals will really be left behind. And when the masses really find out about this, they're going to look at those people like they're stupid. You're dumb. Like, you just have a crop of people who just will never, ever, ever see the truth for what it is. What's crazy about this community too, in a good way, is the fact that the philosophies that have been taught are really being shared, and they're being shared and expounded upon. People build on top of the truth, the true aspects that allow crypto to really function in a way where it's safe, right? In a way where it's immutable, in a way where people will not get rug pulled. And that's incredible. That is incredible. Now, I'm not saying other communities are not engaging in that type of activity, but I don't think it's happening in such a pure way that it's happening with this community. And I'm serious. I don't see any tours happening for any other blockchains. I don't see people, believers in other blockchain communities, pooling their own resources to just get into a mass guerrilla marketing scheme over the past however long they've been operating. I don't see other communities creating just, workshops, meetups, opportunities for people to just onboard. I don't see other communities, who are being led by founders who really show that they care. Besides typing a few words or getting on a couple interviews and just posturing, I don't see other heads of other blockchains, really getting their hands dirty, so to speak, or mixing with the people who support them. Because if it weren't for these guys made their money and it's whatever. I'm not expecting everybody to be like the founder of Hex, but at least the founder of Hex touches the people. You know what I mean? You got some guys who haven't to this day set foot on the ground because they live in their own imaginary citadels and are far removed from the people that have enriched them, and so I appreciate the great things, the greater things, better than, the whatever things. I appreciate the great things that the community has offered, because it more than offers hope. it just surely provides a chance, because once you decide to use the Hex system, you automatically earn. And when I say use, not just hold, but stake, you're automatically earning. This is a contract between you and the contract that you've decided to make. And the contract will work incessantly with no hiccups on your behalf and pay you yield daily, automatically. No one has to touch any buttons to send, to receive, to turn anything on or off, slow down, halt payment, pending transaction, whatever. No, there's none of that. There's none of that. And that's incredible. That's incredible. As simple and as easy as it is, people find it very hard to believe. And again, it's going to be their loss. Unfortunately, right now, the whole crypto market is looking bleak. What could I say? That's just how markets are. I went through, if you haven't gone through the cycles in crypto, then gear up, put your big boots and strap up, because the cycles are brutal. And that's what's helped me get to the point where I have no problem being a long-term player in this community at all, and just in crypto in general, but more so with Hex, PulseX. I have no problem doing that because I've been through the cycles. I'm talking about 6 years worth, and they're brutal. The 3-year bear winter, that made or broke people. Some people never got back from crypto. They left crypto during the 3 year cycle, and they haven't been back. And what I mean by that, I'm talking about personalities that used to create content on YouTube and social media, because it was that brutal. 80, 85, 90% dips from the all-time high. It's crazy. It's crazy. And it's really, to me, it started when the infamous day when BitConnect shut down their operations, January 16, 2018. That, to me, was the beginning of the 3-year-long or 2-year-long. It felt like 3 years, the bear market. Bear winter lasted like 3 years, starting from that point, because everything else followed suit, But if you had a long-term view and you believed in whatever you believed in back then, Hex didn't exist in 2018. But if you believed in whatever you believed and you held on to this point, you fared pretty well. You made a pretty penny. There's no doubt about that. Even with the top two, if you held on since 2018, all the way to 2020, all the way till now. Yeah. And what's the difference? What's the difference now? I saw a chat group where a guy was like, they wanted to know how could they make some money real quick. And some people answered and they were joking. They gave some answers that, you could tell they were joking and stuff. But I'm like, listen, man, we got to get out of that getting it real quick sometimes because, a slow nickel always beats a fast dime, in quotes. Like that fast money comes and goes, but it doesn't last. And you can't always make long-term money in a fast way. You understand? This is why this stuff is really incredible, man. People, and it's weird when you're watching the time go by and folks are so oblivious as to what's going on. And those who know refuse to talk about it. I got to get at them again, like the top YouTubers, the top, influencers or whatever. They don't even, imagine if everyone joined and really said, listen, this sacrifice here is a groundbreaking feat right about now. But it's okay. They don't have to join because there's over 400 million sacrificed so far just for one product that Richard is working on creating. So the momentum is there and the possibilities are endless. No one knows what the future is going to bring. But we know that listening to people who pretend or purport to be experts, who really literally are just filling up their own pockets by duping their viewers, we know that that's coming to a close pretty soon too. Because what's happening is we're living history. You see, we're living a part of history. When you see companies like CoinMarketCap, list Hex for 9 hours, like a number, 9 or 10, I forgot what listing it was, and then takes it back off. This happened within the last 24 hours. It just shows you a minute example of the corruption that takes place, and I don't have anything against CZ personally, but the fact that there's been a lot of questionable practices that's happened on Binance, and Binance owns CoinMarketCap, and it's all this gatekeeping taking place with Hex. It's crazy. You have to pay to play. It's almost like with the entertainment industry where you have to pay radio stations to play your record. This is kind of, you're still dealing with corruption across the board because you're dealing with money and you're dealing with human beings. And greed is an MF. I'm going to try not to, curse in this episode, but greed is really a thing, and it's unfortunate. But this is what's going to happen. Pulse is going to come. PulseX is going to come. P-Hex is going to work on Pulse. It's going to be just Hex. And then you're going to have Hex on Ethereum. Then you're going to have that reward token. 5 different opportunities right there. To bubble, to really generate revenue long term over the years. We're talking years, people. Make no mistake, there are people who are going to sell because that's how markets work. You're dealing with human beings. There's never a perfect formula. You're not going to see a perfect system, sure. But when you're in the long run, the long haul, man, you're going to wish you didn't sell. I've experienced that far too many times I know better. And again, like I said, it's unwavering. I know what it's like to hold on, and then be rewarded. And that's what it's all about. Hold it on. But like I said before, I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing this for a lot of people behind me. And it's worth it. It truly is. And shout out to the community. Shout out to the new people who are coming in. Who are learning, who are offering their own, contributing their own way by being inquisitive. Because, hey, this is how everybody starts in crypto. You don't come into crypto knowing everything. You got to start from somewhere at some point. But if you're starting from the perspective of Richard Hart and Hex and PulseX and PulseChain, oh man, your leagues, you have such an advantage. You don't know how blessed you are. If the first thing you landed on was Hex, PulseChain, PulseX, specifically like really Hex, to start it off first, because the other chains haven't launched yet. Well, PulseX and PulseChain hasn't launched yet. If you landed on Hex, this is the first thing in crypto you landed on, you are fortunate beyond, like, more than you'll ever know. More than you'll ever know. And if you follow the principles that help you win, that help you earn, that help you become well off financially, then you will thank yourself forever. Thank your future self forever. Because that's how it's going to be. And so will your loved ones. So, it's just how it is, man. It's just how it is. And so keep the faith, keep pushing. Look, the clock is ticking. Clock is ticking, folks. Clock is ticking. So, as always, I hope you all remain well. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, leave a comment, and guess what? I'll catch you all on the next one. Take care.